Why do they want you to hate Islam? Every year, tens of millions of dollars are being spent on propaganda campaigns in order to get people to fear Islam and to hate it. And the question is why? But even more important question is who is financing this? Where is this money coming from? In order to understand who wants you to hate Islam and why, all you have to do is see who loses if you embrace Islam. And I don't mean that in a cultural sense, but in a sense of you start to avoid what God hates and obeying God in what he loves. So who gets to lose? Well, let's start with the bankers. Let's start with the usurers. God forbids usury in Islam. And if you look at the bankers, at the usurers historically, they have gained immense power through usury. It is interest that has always given them access to power, and they have used that power to oppress and subjugate people wherever they went. Tax farming and debtor prisons and simply gaining the control of the land through debt. Not to mention the influence of the bankers in causing or influencing war in order to indebt countries that are fighting those wars. The bankers have always been the enemy of humanity, and the kind of power they wield through usury would immediately be lost if people submit to God, which is the Arabic meaning of the word Islam, and they abandon this practice and moreover oppose anyone who tries to practice this. They would lose everything. So it is no surprise that some of this money would come from the bankers and the usurers in order to finance propaganda campaigns to get you to hate Islam. Who else stands to lose? How about the pharma and the drug industries? They manufacture diseases in order to sell you chemicals. Huge profits, billions and billions of dollars. Industries like stimulants and benzodiazepines and antidepressants. They don't want you to turn to God and find your salvation on the inside through prayer and meditation and self-denial through fasting. To find happiness through improved community life when isolation is gone. They want us to be isolated from each other so we don't trust each other, so we are all alone, seeking salvation in their products, which generate billions and billions and billions of dollars. Same dollars that grant them power then to influence the media and the government. Who else stands to lose? Well, it's not just pharmaceutical industries, but it is the drug industries, such as the alcohol industries, and now probably the marijuana industry and other industries. Things that sell you escape. Industries that sell you escape. Well, if everybody became Muslim, they wouldn't drink alcohol. They wouldn't smoke weed. And they would stand to lose billions of dollars. But it's more than that. It is drugs and alcohol that destroy communities. They get people to hate each other. And then they need safety by giving government power. And that's another thing. Who else doesn't want you to become Muslim, to obey God in what God loves, and to stay away from what God hates? People who seek power. Governments. John Adams said that our Constitution here in the United States of America is made only for a moral and religious people, and it is wholly inadequate for the governance of any other. He said that because the Constitution was designed to limit the power of government, not to increase it, not to protect us from foreign enemies. But you can only limit the power of government if people trust each other, and you need religious dedication to things that God loves for that. Trust and honesty and humility and charity, protecting the weak, doing unto others as you would have them do unto you. When you walk through a bad neighborhood, you want the police to show up and save you. But when you are walking through a neighborhood where everybody is kind and welcoming and truthful and nobody's trying to rob you or rape you or do anything like that, then you don't want the police. You don't want people interfering with your life. So that is who wants you to hate Islam as well. How about the entertainment industry? Whoever tells the stories control society, said Plato. The entertainment industry, Hollywood, they promote what they promote because it gives them power. They make mothers and fathers look lame on these TV shows and movies in order for kids to turn away from them and not to take sincere advice from the only people that love them. They want to destroy the family unit so they can influence and control your children easily, because we all know that when we are young, we are at our most gullible. They promote smut in order to destroy marriages. They take people's daughters and they prostitute them on video, calling it freedom of speech. They're killing our daughters, and that is why they don't want us to be Muslims. Because Muslims, or Christians for that matter, true Christians, the problem is they have diluted Christianity to such an extent that people think that they're no longer allowed to stand against that is somehow wrong to fight against that. But that is still a part of Islam. Submission to God. Stand up to the smut makers. That's why they don't want you to be Muslims. They are not promoting Islamophobia and fear of Islam to you because they want you to be free. No. They're doing that because they want you to be slaves. Because whoever is a slave to man, he can be controlled. But whoever is a slave to God, if your moral principles are guided by God, then they cannot control you. And moreover, if the whole community embraces those values, if we stop doing drugs, if we go back to the family values, if we become moral, we stop lying and scheming, if we expel the usurers from among us, if we suppress the drug dealers, and if we find salvation from what grieves us inside in a book instead of a drug, they lose money. And when they lose money, they lose power. And when they lose power, we become free. But the only way to become free is to submit to God, which is the Arabic word Islam. Of course, they want you to think that all of us are going around trying to behead people, and that all of us are Arabs and all of us hate America, and they don't give us a platform to say that we are the people who stand for the same values that Christianity used to stand for. But we are uncompromising. We are going to continue to practice that. So whether you claim to be a Muslim or a Christian, you should go back to those values because those are the values of God. And if you try to do that, they will demonize you too. And they will tell the world how hateful you are and how stupid you are and how extreme you are. But the reason why they are doing that is because they don't want to lose power. And it's as simple as that. And that is why they want you to hate Islam. Peace be with you.